What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting from the D and Detroit. The D itself is back in the algorithm. A little messy stuff. We have a pastor of a mega church, very respected individual, Charles Ellis III. He is the pastor of Greater Grace Temple. There's a woman that's come out saying that she's had an affair with him off and on between 2002 and 2018. He's confirmed that he did have an inappropriate relationship with a woman back in 2002 and that it was over. He said he sought counseling. He basically underwent a forgiveness slash repentance process. And I'm like, okay, you got people who are upset saying, okay, well, if that's the case, why weren't you transparent with it? And that's a fair question. But certain things have me wondering, what is the motive of the woman coming out now? Because you say the affair ended. Now, I'm not excusing any of this. This is just me going over things that have stuck out that I'm like, that sounds kind of weird. The relationship supposedly ended in 2018. It's now 2025. And it's like, okay, it's been over with for 7 years. Why are you talking about it now? Why all of a sudden do you have to be public about it now? Well, it turns out she's got a tell-all book that she's trying to sell. I listened to a video of her talking, and she's saying she wants accountability, for the bishop. And I'm just like, it's funny how you want accountability, and this isn't me defending his actions. I'm just saying the timing of this is very strange. You've got a tell-all book to sell, and now all of a sudden you're seeking accountability. Well, what about your own accountability? You have a woman that is trying to frame herself a victim and the pastor as being a predator, essentially, because she was just a girl. She was 22. He was so much older than her. Okay, yeah, there is a power dynamic and whatnot, but let's be for real. A lot of times that power dynamic women find to be very alluring. Power dynamic seems to be a potent aphrodisiac for women. So when you were along for the ride and you, by your own admission, were having your bills taken care of and stuff, you were fine. It's now 7 years post him paying your bills. It seem like, I don't know, pockets might be touching a little bit, and so you're looking for your next bag. So expose him, put his reputation at risk to enrich yourself. At least that's what it would seem like to a lot of people. I'm one of those. I don't know if that's the case for sure, but it certainly looks like it. Timing of things matters. And even though you may have been 22, I get it, we're not the most mature at the age of 22. You know the difference between right and wrong. You know you're dealing with a married man and that this is not right. So the whole, I'm just a girl, I was just 22, I was so young, I was naive. I don't know about that, man. At the time he met her, she was a 22-year-old single mom. He did a lot for her. I'm assuming he did a lot for her child as well. Obviously things weren't all bad because you were along for the ride, albeit off and on, but for 16 years. So a little over a decade and a half, obviously things had to have been, let's just say they weren't unpleasant if you were around for that long. So the bishop, he's admitted that what he did wasn't right. I mean, that's pretty much all that you can do. Some people want him to step down. I don't know if that's going to happen. He's been the head of Greater Grace for what, like around 20 years, maybe a little more. around 20 years, give or take a few years, and he succeeded his father, to my understanding. So I don't know about that, if he gonna be willing to step down and let somebody else take over. We shall see. I guess it all comes down to his congregation. I mean, he's got a mega church that he runs. The auditorium, to my understanding, fits 4,000 people. So, it really is one of those big deal churches. And I can't imagine him leaving it to somebody else, unless it's to his own son. Perhaps that could be a thing, but I don't know. Some people are critical of his behavior with this because of the whole thing with Ariana Grande a few years back at Aretha Franklin's funeral. Aretha Franklin, Motown legend. Her funeral was a big deal. It was held here. It was at Greater Grace. I thought overall the bishop was a really good host. He was a bit handsy with Ariana Grande. I mean, it was right there for the world to see. He was pretty handsy with her. A lot of people were very critical of that. They kind of thought that he was a bit, shady or whatever. These are their words, not my own. I really don't have any feelings about it. But some people who were detractors then, they're now using this thing as, see, I always knew he was like this, always knew he was like that, because that whole thing happened or whatever. So it's a really unfortunate situation. And I mean, we continue to see men, high profile men, their downfall be a woman. It seems like this is always the case. The downfall of a powerful man, a high profile man, is always a woman. They're complicit in everything while they're benefiting from it. The moment that you cut them off for whatever reason, now suddenly they get this moral compass that they didn't have before. They gain a conscience that they didn't have before. They have this spiritual awakening that was conveniently no way possible for them to have gotten before. And now they have no choice but to tell all y'all business for a bag. It's like they can't seek counseling and heal in private. They can't resolve these issues in private. It's funny how these women, for their healing journey, they always have to go public and tell everybody y'all business. And it's always with high profile men. If it's a bad breakup, and I'm not suggesting that they had a bad breakup, it might have been amicable. He might have just been like, this has run its course or whatever. But when it's a guy that's not in the public eye and they have a bad breakup or whatever, the woman just goes on about her way. When it's a guy that is high profile, suddenly she has to reveal to everybody what he was doing, what he said. It's just very strange the way that always plays out. It plays out exactly the same. This chick just tried to do Corey Kenshin the same way. It just didn't work. I mean, he's a pretty high profile guy in a totally different lane, but a similar thing. Some chick he used to deal with, he hasn't dealt with her in years. All of a sudden, she wants him to be accountable for things he said or did, or ways that she feels about certain things that she interpreted to be disrespectful or insensitive. It never fails. It's always some chick that was a nobody before the high profile guy met him. They suddenly have to be messy for 15 minutes of pity, because they usually are doing it to be seen as some sort of victim or empathetic figure. And usually there's some financial incentive attached to it, albeit they want to sell a book, they want to sue them civilly because all of a sudden they were abused. They were fine, things were great before, but now afterwards suddenly they were manipulated and abused mentally and emotionally and all that. It's just the same old movie that we keep seeing play out over and over and over and over and over. And so here it is playing out again here, this time with Bishop Ellis. Who will it be next time? I'm going to leave it there. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. Hit me in them comments. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.